All right, I want to start by saying Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahabrashai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahabrashai. Call Hala Yahweh by Hashem Yahrashai. Call Hala Yahweh by Hashem Yahrashai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that told me this doctrine and truth and sincerity. Shalom to the elect. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. By Hashem in the name who the world only calls Jesus Christ, we know His name to be Yahabrashai, which means the deliverer, the savior for the Hebrew Israelites from the pedigree of your father. By Hashem in the name of the Ruach HaKadosh, which means the Holy Spirit, the living waters that flow through the hopeful elect, where they're able to get the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who we are, which are the Hebrew Israelites. If you're so-called Negro, so-called Latino, so-called Native American, or of the speckled bird looking like the other nations, and your spirit bear witness with this doctrine, you could be one elect. Shalom. Yahweh by Hashem Yahrashai, by Hashem and Kakadash, that's in the ancient Hebrew. We went discontinued from our heritage because we went off not following the law, statute, commandments that was given to us by our forefathers, following after false idols and false gods. But in the latter days, through Yahawashi HaMashiach being that perfect lamb, we're able to receive this word and to be able to give life to those dry bones. And with giving life, you're able to know who your adversary is. Our adversary is Esau, Edom. Esau means wasted away he is. They are the Idumeans, right? They are the biblical Edomites. They are the wicked that it speaks about in the scriptures that have been given the fatness of the earth, and they have to live by their sword. And that was given to him by Isaac, which was Yahawashi if he could receive it. That's why you see, in over 80 countries, you see 750 military bases where they're able to push forth their democracy, conquering, slaying, rape, robbing, murdering all these different nations, including the Hebrew Israelites, and all around the four corners of the earth. And they're able to push forth their propaganda through their democracy to be able to manipulate the masses of people to have them be in subjection to these evil, wicked, draconian measures. But on the right-hand side, Yahawashi HaMashiach is raising up the prophets, the pastors of His own heart, to be able to give warning to our people, the Hebrew Israelites, those that will hear or forbear, to be able to get the blood off our hands, by giving them the warning. And what's the warning? That Esau, Edom is going to be coming in like a flood, and we need to come back to Yahweh Hashem Rashai, repent and be ye converted, and start rehearsing the righteous acts, coming back to our customs. And as you see, 2/3 of our people in Israel, they don't want to hearken to that. They love, their owner, their master, which is Esau, Edom, which is the god of this world that has blinded them from what Esau, Edom is doing. Because what Esau, Edom is doing is trying to bring forth a Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is the New World Order. And how do they do that? They come forth with their lying wonders, their pseudosciences, saying that the Darwinism, where we evolved from monkeys, all these different lies and deceptions. And that's one of their swords also that Esau, Edom has, which are the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the so-called white man, the Soros, the Gates, the Clintons. These are the wicked that it speaks about in the scriptures. That's why they have all the luxuries of being able to go wherever they want at any time and be able to not get in trouble for abominations. But in the latter days, they will have to seek judgment from Yahweh Hashem Rashai through those missiles, through being put in fetters and irons and chains. And it is a great thing to recompense your enemies and see the fall of your enemies, right? Which is Esau, Edom. And with these lying wonders, they're coming closer and closer to what they really want to do, which is the charagma, which is a graven image in your forehead or in your hand to have you be a perpetual slave, an everlasting slave, similar to how they did us in slavery, similar how they do the animals, the cattle and certain different animals on the farm, where they're able to brand them to be able to know whose they are. And we're trying to get that Tawah, which is the mark of exemption from Yahweh Hashem Rashai. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Esau, which is getting the orders, and Esau, which is Satan in the flesh, which is Esau, Edom in the flesh, which is getting the orders from Satan to be on that left-hand magic, those enchantments. They're trying to have you get the charagma, which is a graven image in your forehead and your hand. So with that, this is what the lesson's about. The artificial intelligence, the lying wonders. So AI, Nanny, being created by Chinese scientists to grow babies in robot wombs. And as we see, robots are starting to take over, certain people's livelihoods. Okay, as far as, you go in the the grocery store, or you go into Walmart, you start to see a lot more checkout lines. You see there was a certain store, I think it was in the Midwest, where they just had all computers. They didn't have no people there, right? And that's to bring forth their technology. Because Esau Edom, the god of this world, he thinks that he is Yahweh Shem Rashai, and he sits on the seat and no one is beside him, because his pride has exceeded him. Because we know that the deceiver and the deceiver are Yahweh Shem Rashai. He's the one that forms the light. He creates the darkness, right? He heals, he wounds, he puts up the kings. He's the one that does all these things. But with that, those vessels to dishonor, which is Esau Edom, and those vessels to honor, which are the Hebrew Israelites, which are the elect and the remnant to honor, you're gonna have these things happening. And all these are what the testimony of the spirit of prophecy, which is the spirit of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to be able to give us the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, to be able to have stability in the times, to be able to fear Yahweh Shemir Hashai. And that is a treasure from Yahweh Shemir Hashai, because most of the people out there, they don't fear Yahweh Shemir Hashai. They don't want to come back to him. They don't respect order. And that's what Esau Edom is doing with these robots in the womb, because they want to have everyone be a slave. They don't want people to talk back. They don't want people to, judge or come at their character, like you see people doing on the internet. You'll see people saying that's not right and things like that. They don't want that. They just want slaves where they can be able to make money and be able to do what they want. So it says the artificial intelligence Nanny has arrived. Robots and artificial intelligence may now be used in conjunction to optimize the generation of human life, marking a significant milestone in science. So also you see men starting to have babies, okay? And that's an abomination to Yahweh Shemir Hashai, because he created man for one reason and he created woman for another. And that goes back to the curses, where a man will have to work, and a woman will have to bear the seed and also have to go through those pains. And so Esau Edom is trying to take that all away. That's why you see they have the emojis, the MOGs or whatever it's called, right? Where they have the man with the baby. Okay, and then you see these certain people, these men on men, woman on woman having babies, and then all these different abominations. So that's how we know we're at the end, because these are the same things that happened with Rome. All the different captivities that we were in. This is what put them down, when they put the female up, and then they had a bunch of man on man, woman on woman, as far as in their governments and their councils. So it says robotics and artificial intelligence can now exist. Let me get one thing real quick. Actually, so I just want to get the definition for artificial intelligence. AI, the ability of digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. The term is frequently applied to the project of developing systems endowed with the intellectual process characteristic of humans, such as ability to reason, discover meaning, generalize, or learn from the past experience. So there was like a couple months ago where one robot basically a human got in the way of the robot, and the robot basically tested him like, yo, what are you doing? And I think he grabbed him or something like that. So these robots are eventually gonna also in that movie I, Robot, and that's art depicting reality, where the robot basically, he got too smart and he turned on that was a movie with Will Smith in it, And basically the robot turned and he killed one person, threw him out the window, and then they were chasing him. So all these things, these technologies are going to end up turning on them, right? And ultimately their pride. So since the development of the digital computer in the 1940s, it has been demonstrated that computers can be programmed to carry out very complex tasks, as for example, discovering proofs for mathematical theorems or playing chess. And who's the ultimate chess player? Yahweh Shemir Shai. He's the one that's playing chess, not checkers. Esau Edom is playing checkers while Yahweh Shemir Shai is playing chess. And one of the pieces, one of the pawns is Esau Edom. Okay? To be able to move him to where he wants to be able to have Yahweh Shemir Shai's name magnified. That's what this whole thing's about. Just like when Yahweh Shemir Shai hardened Pharaoh's heart. That was to be able to magnify Yahweh Shemir Shai's power. Because when you look at it, you're going to say, well, you can't take down America. They got all those missiles. They got the money. They got this. They got that. They got their drones. They got their army. They got their super soldiers. They got this. They haven't lost a war. They're a virgin in war. They basically haven't been touched. So all these things, yeah, so the odds, everyone loves the underdog, just like David and Goliath. When David, our king, under Yahweh Shai, right, the tabernacle of David is being risen up. And what did David do? He came up against Goliath, which was a seasoned veteran, far as in war, and David took him out. Okay? Our King David, right? Which is Marshal, those that can't receive that. Okay, because there is reincarnation, and those men were there, and they know that his works. So those that don't believe in certain things, this is not for you. That's a red flag. Still, despite continuing advances in computer processing speed and memory capacity, there as yet no programs that can match human flexibility over wider dominions or in tasks requiring much everyday knowledge. So no matter what Esau Edom does, they cannot match the human body. That's how powerful Yahweh Shemir Shai is. As far as you think about the outside of your body, then you think about the veins, you think about the nerves, you think about your brain, you think about your hand, how your hands move, all these different things. Esau Edom is not even close. Again, he's playing checkers while Yahweh Shemir Shai is playing chess. But they still try to do that with these lying wonders, because they are what? Wiser than Daniel. And their pride has exceeded them. But we know pride goes before a haughty fall. Pride before destruction. Right? Proverbs 16 and 18. So going back to the article, robotics and artificial intelligence can now assist the development of newborns via the use of algorithms and artificial wombs, which is eerily similar to what we see the cult classic, The Matrix. Yeah, so the Matrix is actually it was actually a black lady that made that, but of course Esau Edom got the true so-called black woman, right, which is Judah. And what she did is she depicted basically that Neo was Yahweh Shai. And those movies, the Terminator, right? It starts off with the Matrix. Okay, then it goes into it goes from the Terminator, so Terminator 1 all the way down, right, to the Matrix. Okay? And then when you see what the computer systems and the computers are trying to take over and all that. So that was all one lady. I forgot her name, but it was Jake, right, that made that movie. And the Matrix goes back to the womb, right? And in the womb, what do you happen? You're constantly fighting certain things, and that's the same thing we're doing in this world. We're constantly fighting all different types of, we're fighting the flesh. We're fighting 2/3 of our people. We're fighting, our families, our friends. Esau Edom, his technology, all these different things. We're fighting the Matrix, right? So it says, according to the South China Morning Post, Chinese experts in Suzhou have pioneered the development of the latest technology breakthrough However, their concerns about the ethical implications of raising human beings in an artificial environment. I'm going to get some scriptures. I just want to read to the bottom because it's not that long of an article, right? The discoveries were published, peer-reviewed. AI Nanny, according to the researchers, might aid in growth of human kids and long-term embryo culture device. The artificial womb is a big machine containing compartments for individuals. So if anybody's ever seen the new Matrix that just came out, I forgot what it's called, but the new Matrix that just came out it was either the beginning of this year or in December. And what it was is they had those wombs where Neo was, and I forgot the other lady that was basically his girl or whatever that was in it. They were both in these wombs, and they had the computers basically going up and connected to them, and then he unconnected from that and basically was able to escape. So it actually looks a lot like this right here. They might even artificial womb. Okay, so it is from the Matrix right there. Yeah, so that's exactly what was going on. But then they had him as a grown person too, right? So which was a decent movie, as far as the times that we're in. This artificial womb is a big machine containing apartments with individual fetuses. The infants will be fed as they would be a real womb if they are in the chamber, which they would be filled in an optimist mix of nutrient fluids. And what seems sort of eugenics record. Yeah, so eugenics. So that goes back to, William Gates Sr., okay, which they want to push forth, basically where they're able to control who is born and who is not. So if you're basically on a low level, you got crack in you got these certain things, or these certain things. If you're not a pro athlete or something like that, then they don't want to breed you. Okay, which means they're basically going to off you, a lot like what they do with the abortion clinics and things like that, because that's against the law. You're supposed to just have your baby, whatever it is. You're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. I'm not going to get this. I'm going to get the scriptures to back that up. Just want to finish this out. It says, what seems sort of eugenics record, and Bill Gates is coming in that same spirit. He wants to do eugenics on people, okay, which is to have you only the people that they want to bring in the world, right? So again, they're playing that God role. Embryo health and developmental potential will be kept on file by software over the duration of embryos. Yeah, development. Yeah, so they want to mix a baby, say, with LeBron because of his physical. Then they want to mix, say one of the people that made the inventions, one of the Jakes, mix their brain, mix their captivity with that. They can. Instead of a man having sex with a woman, that's why they have, again, these wicked abominations here that I was talking about earlier. At the moment, the new technology is being utilized to assist in development of animal embryos that are developing, and that's what they do. They test on these animals, okay? And that's wicked too, because you're testing on these rats, these mice, these monkeys, these pigs, to be able to push forth your science. And ultimately, I'm going to bring out another article where they're testing on actual children, and who are those going to be? Those children, the Hebrew Israelites, right? The children of the Most High, children of Israel, children of the power. This is due to the fact that the acting of experimenting on human embryos older than 2 weeks is prohibited under international law. Yeah, so that's why they're trying to change certain laws, right? With the abortion, you got the ladies out there, the full-blown dykes that don't even have kids, protesting out there, just looking crazy. Surrogacy is prohibited in China because artificial wombs would effectively convert a hospital, laboratory, and mother. Under Chinese, having development artificial womb is not concept. While this is not new discovery, bringing the technology into human mass production, mixing it with ranking AI, it is development that is quite dystopian sounding. Yeah, so we're going to be in a dystopian state. The time of Jacob's trouble, when this place is going to be bugged out. People are going to be running to and fro, and going to be travailing like a woman, right? Like the embryo, like it said. Although, okay, yeah. So we're almost going to go to the article. We're going to go to the scriptures. Actually, let me get something. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up thy words and seal thy book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Yeah, so that the knowledge is being increased on the left-hand side, but also the knowledge is being increased on the right-hand side for far as the prophecies. Things that Daniel, had seen are the vision is yet for a point in time, and this is that time right now, the latter days. Okay, and those old prophets from before that were trying to see the end, they are back again, or if they're not asleep, waiting to come back on the chariots, right? Those that stood stiffly for that name. So that knowledge has increased, as far as, you got your planes, you got your cars. They're starting to have flying cars. They're starting to say they have certain wonders. They can be able to heal people a certain way. So all these things are increasing. Let me get a couple more scriptures and I'll go back to the article. And Daniel was a very wise man. He actually gave counsel to the king, Nebuchadnezzar, right? He gave counsel. What the? Man, this thing's been acting up all day. Ezekiel 28:3. Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver in thy treasures. Yeah, so with their riches, with their wisdom, they're able to seek out all these different places to find gold and silver. They do a diligent search, reaching out. And what do? Rape, rob, and murdering also with their wisdom. With their wisdom of what? The technology of the sword. But by the great wisdom and by their traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Yeah, because of the riches and certain technologies, they have risen up. Therefore said the Lord, our power Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as thy heart of Yahweh, because you think that you are wise as Yahweh. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee in the terrible nations, and thou shalt draw their swords against the beauty of wisdom, and thou shalt be defiled of brightness. Yeah, so these other, heathen nations, these foreign armies, as far as like Russia, these, which is Gog and Magog, and then you have the Moabites, which are the Chinese, and then you have the Ishmaelites over there in Iran. Okay, they're going to start drawing their swords in other nations. They're going to start and also the NATO and the EU, even though they're connected with the beast system, right? They're going to be joined unto. They're going to be joined. They're going to be joined in the war against Babylon, because Yahweh Shema Shai again is going to harden their heart. He's going to put that spirit on them to change their ways. So their pride has deceived them. Proverbs 16:18. Pride go before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. That's right. And that's what's going on right now. Proverbs 16:4. The Lord Adonai Yahweh had made all things for himself, yet even the wicked for the day of evil. Yeah, Yahweh Shema Shai made everything for a purpose. And ultimately it's for Esau Edom to be devoured and to be able to have Yahweh Shema Shai's name magnified forever and ever. And with these things that they're doing with these, these tests and these certain technologies, they are communing. Let me just bring out the scripture. Psalm 64:5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune, laying snares, and privily they say, who shall see them? Yeah, so some of the traps are what? The abortion clinics. Some of the traps are child tests. Some of the traps are what? They're pharmaceuticals, which they use the caduceus, which goes back to the worship of the medicine god. I think it's I forgot what his name, but it's a deity. It's the medicine god, as far as in the Greek. I think it's Hermes or something like that. Yeah. They search out iniquities, they shall accomplish the diligent search. Both their inward thought of every one of them in their heart is deep. Yeah, so they think that, well, again, they're the cunning hunter. That's what Esau Edom is. He's a cunning hunter, and what he does, he communes in laying traps. That means he'll, just like this pestilence that they brought out a couple years ago. What do? They put out something, they see what the people did, okay, then they took it away, then they brought it back out again, then they brought it back out again, and they keep bringing it back out. And it's the same thing they're going to do with the Charagma. But we know that the Charagma is going to be the end of all this. Okay, that's why, there's a couple more prophecies that happen, which is World War III. Okay, but in the midst of that, there has to be the Charagma. Okay, then our Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach coming back. 3, for understanding. Right? We already see the people waxing colder. We see Esau Edom coming down with draconian measures. Right? Speaking with a double tongue. So all these things are starting to manifest, be seen. Again, Habakkuk 2 and about 3, yet for the vision is yet for appointed time. And this is that time. And it will not delay. It will not tarry. Right? And it's not tarrying. Those things that the apostles and the elders were speaking about 10, 15, 20 years ago, the sea camps, the internment camps, the guillotines, the Charagma, all these things are being pushed forth this year. That's why this year is called the year of Yahweh Shemar Shai turning up, coined by Apostle Tahar. So let me finish out the article, and then I got a couple of little things just to add on to that. Although the thought of artificial developing human infants is a far-fetched one, that are certain advantages to it. In the past, for example, processes of producing kids within people has been lengthy, drawn out, and unpleasant process, and this could potentially aid mothers who would like to have children but are currently unable to without having to use human surrogate. After all, the population is about to start shrinking by the billions by the end. Yes, because the reason why it's going to start shrinking by the billions is because they have 7.7 billion people. And they have a thing called the Georgia Guidestones where they want to shrink it down to 500 million people. And again, that's a part of Bill Gates' agenda too. Okay, that's the reason why. Depopulation. And how do they do that? They do that by the GMO foods, right? They do that by the fluoride in the water. They do that by the chemtrails in the air. They do that by the constant weapons, the guns, putting these ghost guns, putting all these different guns in the different communities. And meanwhile, giving people no option to be able to do, taking away people's livelihood, right? Putting drugs in the community. These are all the different things that Esau Edom has done, because again, he is that vessel created for wrath and destruction. And also with the certain foods that are foods that they have out there, people are not able to have babies, right? And ultimately, that is Yahweh Shemar Shai's judgment for you not to have children. So you trying to go above, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to use this semen, I'm going to use that. That's going against the natural grain. And that's Esau Edom to the core, right? It is about shrinking by billions by the end of the century. Fertility rates around the globe are collapsing at frightening rate. Why? Because they're putting chemtrails in the air. Again, the food. Okay, I'm going to bring on a scripture that backs that up. When artificial human growth becomes available, it will enable couples who would otherwise be at danger during delivery to have children. Adoption is also an option for then also the kids with autism. Okay, the radiation, the mercury that they have in their system from these different types of foods, also an option for thousands. And plus the they come out with these evil, wicked spirits because the women have got plucked down by a bunch of different dudes, so they got all these different seeds in them. Okay, it says danger during delivery to have children. Adoption is also an option for thousands of children currently in foster care who may be placed in permanent families. So again, going back to that adoption care, that foster care, a lot of rape happens in that. A lot of molestation, pedophilia happens in those different places, because a lot of the times the people, they just want to have the money, the money for the children, but they don't take care of the children, and that's where a lot of kids join gangs. Okay. So that's the end of that article. So I want to get a couple things just adding on to that. This is an article. This is what I was speaking about as far as the foster system. It says articles misrepresent Fauci linked research involving children. So This one says misrepresent, okay? But because they use it in what? Their science. They're using this in their science and saying it's good. So this is Mr. Science right here, right? Funded experiments on orphans with AIDS and 25 of them died. Okay? So this is the guy that you guys are trusting in, right? It says missing context, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which I'm not even going to say his name because I just don't want it. They're going to think I'm talking about that thing, that little thing, and I'm talking about something different. Did fund clinical trials evaluating HIV and AIDS treatments that enrolled HIV positive children both in and out of foster care, but the report found that 25 children in foster care died during trials, did not find that the trials were the cause of their deaths. Yeah, so again, these men are not plagued like other men. They get away with anything and everything. Look at the pedophilia that they have. Look at the guy over there in the UK. I think it's Prince Andrew. And what did he do? He did some pedophile shit. And then what happened? He didn't even get charged. He just got to step down from his rank. But he still has all his money. He's not in jail. Look at the dude that stole money from that the porn star with Trump. Right? He stole like $400,000. Then he goes on live TV and says, well, I'm going to be exonerated. You know what I mean? He's not locked up. Nothing happened. If that was Jake, he'd be, ridiculed, right? The facts claim a spreading of social media is targeting. Yeah, so they're saying that they're targeting him. But this is actually true. Okay? The website Unite first published experimenting with AIDS orphans, 25 died. The story claims that Fauci funded a study in New York City where he treated AIDS kids with experimental drugs. And who would make up a kind of story like that? Okay? I mean, come on. Where are you going to get that from? You can't, 25 deaths figure comes from 2009 report by the Vero Institute of Justice, later cited in the story. Okay? And if brothers want to read that, Vero Institute, I've already read it. I just pulled up this one article because I saw something about the foster care. But it goes even more deep into it, right? The Vero report followed an investigation by organization that prompted by concerns about the participation of New York City foster children in various clinical trials related to HIV. The report identified 513 such children who participated in 88 clinical trials and observational studies between 1985 and 2005. Many children inside and outside of foster care clinical trials died because of the complications during the late 1980s and 1990s. And the thing is that I'm not sure if they say it, but these people, they had a painful death. Okay, they didn't just die and then they got shot with then they were gone. No, these people had a painful death for multiple days. They were punished. And now we know that's Yahweh Shema Shai, judging no man die innocent, or no man or woman or children die innocent. But the thing is that Fauci inflicted this pain. Right? It says our report does not support the claim. Yeah, so of course they're gonna deny that again. They're not plagued like other men. So, if you Vero report, if you want to read it, and there's a bunch of articles. I just pulled up this one's trying to go against it, right? And this is another thing that they did. Margaret Sanger, which was what? She brought in Planned Parenthood. Okay? American birth control activist, sex educator, writer, and nurse. Okay? And with that, with her bringing that in, where all these Planned Parenthoods, a lot of them are in the ghettos, vadios, and the vadios, right? Where the Hebrew Israelites are. And what do they push forth? They push forth, you killing your baby because you done messed up, so-called messed up, and now you don't have the funds. That just shows we're in captivity. Those are the curses. You won't be with your child. And what do? They give up the baby, and they're even fighting over the certain times to be able to kill the baby. Okay? I think it's like 24 weeks or something like that to 15 weeks. I'm not sure the exact time, but that's what they're having those protests over there down south. And basically what they do with these babies is they will take the live seed, or the live, live baby that's in your womb that the people abort. And what they'll do is they'll transfer it to these technology places, these labs, where they're able to do tests on them. And what do? They test this. That's why they always want the placenta, because what does the placenta have? It has the gene, the genes of who they are, right? And they're able to use those for different tests and also another thing that they do with when Jake gets killed in the neighborhoods and the ghettos and the barrios and the reservations, when he gets killed, what do? They use the body parts. They use the organs, and then they use it for these old. That's why the one Rockefeller dude, he lived to like 100. He had like 10 or 15 heart transplants, and that's what they do. They use our parts because they know that we are the more superior seed. And, and then they make money off, they'll have life insurance, on the kids. They'll go to the ghettos and the barrios, and they'll have these life insurance people, basically, and then they'll put hits on them. They'll have mercenaries coming in and make money off them. Plus, we also have the contract, which is through the birth certificate to making you a slave. Then if you look at the debt clock right now, the average citizen per citizen in Babylon the Great, which Babylon means confusion, America means bitter, you owe $90,000. Okay, and then when you die or you pass away, what happens? All your family gets that debt, and these are all because of people like this, right? Margaret Sanger, far as the abortion, right? That they put forth a woman to be able to act like, oh, we're just doing something nice. No, but they're being wicked. Okay, because you're supposed to what? Let me just get it. Be fruitful and multiply. Genesis 1:28. Genesis 1:28. And our power, Yahweh, blessed them, and Yahweh said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the living thing that moveth upon the earth. Yeah, so that's what we were supposed to do. Reign over the earth. Right? But then what happened? We went off. Adam went off, and then through the lines we all went off. Okay? But now we're able to have a time of a grace period through Yahawashi HaMashiach. Again, Adam being Yahawashi, okay, showing the regeneration. And that we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply, have many children. Okay, but Esau Edom tries to do the opposite because he can't have many kids as he wants. He can't, they're at a decline as far as their children they can have. And they see that we are what? The sand of the sea. Psalm 73:5. They are not troubled as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Yeah, they don't have troubles like other people. They are not plagued with problems like everyone else. Yeah, so these demons are not plagued like other people. That's why they're able to lie about something like killing 25 orphans, testing over 535 children. Right? Orphans. And what are they? All those orphans were they were Hebrew Israelites. They were. Okay? That was over there in New York. This is Sirach 12. Yes. Sirach 12:10. Never trust an enemy, for like an iron is rusted, so is his wickedness. And that's who Esau Edom is. He is our enemy. He is that crafty counsel that's joined with these other heathen nations to what? Hide the hidden ones. Okay? So I'm going to go down to Sirach 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how they throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but he find opportunity. He will not be satisfied with blood. Yeah, they're not satisfied with blood. You saw how many people they then took out the last couple of years. And then look at how many those orphans they took out. And how many more. Look at the missing children. They used to have the thing on Walmart. Only some Walmarts have it now, where they have all the missing children. If you look up there, they're all Jake. Right? And then meanwhile at the reservations, they have the same thing. All the missing women. And they never find who they are. But when they had that one white girl that was missing, that the white dude killed his girlfriend or whatever, fiance, They were all looking around. It was front page news. Meanwhile, they had another black girl that was missing up there in New York. Okay. And I think it was Buffalo area. And she disappeared by Niagara Falls. And then they never even talked about her. That was like basically a back headline. Okay. And this is the point right here. Sirach 12:17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall be undermined thee. Yeah, so when you look at why people are on drugs, Esau, Edom. When you look at why people are bugged out on this false philosophy, this Babylonian Jews, Esau, Edom, pushing forth Christianity and Catholicism. And all these other different idols. Right? That's why our people are bugged out. Why are people killing their own brother? Why? Because the hip-hop music that they have. Saying that that's a cool thing to kill thy brother. That drill music is wicked and an abomination to Yahweh Shem Rashai. That's why those rappers are getting judged. Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom he will be good. He shall not take pleasure in his good. Yeah, so Esau, Edom is evil to himself. Look what he does to his own kingdom. Poisoning his own kingdom. Chemtrails in the air, fluoride in the water. Constant, digging in the ground, creating radiation, creating mercury, blowing off these missiles that create all this different, problems with the ecosystem, right? 6, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and that is recompense of his wickedness. Yeah, so again, that pride. He loves what he's doing. He loves his suits, and he loves, being with little boys and little girls, and he loves... And that's why he's trying to push forth that guy, Albert Hissinger. Okay. I know his first name is Alfred Hissinger. Basically, what he did is he brought forth all the sex acts. And what did he do? He tested out children and as far as them having orgasms. And I know I'm getting graphic, but this is the truth. This is what Esau Edom does. He loves blood. And if he doeth good, he doeth unwillingly, and at last he will declare his wickedness. Yeah, and so that's what he's doing right now. He's going to start to declare his wickedness on Jake, because what did he say when they had that thing come out? They said, who's the most susceptible? So-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans. And guess what? Those are the Hebrew Israelites. He's showing what his perpetual hatred for you. So going back into it, I'm going to get some more scriptures. This is 2 Thessalonians. Yeah, I don't know what... So 2 Thessalonians Yeah, 2 Thessalonians 2:7, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who letteth will let he that be taken out of the way. Yeah, so the Yahweh Shema Shai is letting him do this work. These certain technologies and things like that. So why? His name can be magnified. And then shall the wicked be revealed. And Esau, Edom is being being revealed, which is the so-called white man, whom the Lord Yahweh Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Yeah, so the prophets are consuming him with his mouth. And that goes into Jeremiah 5:14, that fire that's kindled to the wood, and shall destroy with his brightness of his coming. Yeah, so 1 Thessalonians 1:6, where it speaks about is a righteous thing to recompense your enemies. 2 Thessalonians 2:9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, and that's Esau, Edom. He's coming in the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. So let's go into a couple of scriptures, or definitions. So this word, the working. Oh, wow, man. Bear with me. Con, it's working now. So going to the 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. This word working. Working, okay. This is in the Greek.
Strong's G 1753. Energeia. Energeia.
Con. It says the working efficiency use only of the superhuman power, whether of Yahweh or of the devil. So again, who's the god of this world? Esau, Edom. That's 2 Corinthians 4 and 4. Or speaks about that. Let's see. So that's the working of Esau, Edom, of Satan, right? And also when you go into this word lying, so it goes in the conscious and initial falsehood. Yeah, so we know that their hand is what the right is, the left hand, the right hand of falsehood. Okay, everything, those are those strange children. In a broad sense, whatever is not what it seems to be, a perverse, impious, deceitful precept. Yeah, so they are what? Being deceitful. And it says right here, whatever is not what it seems to be. Yeah, so they're always speaking with that forked tongue. So let's get back to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. And that's what he's doing. He's giving you, this man will come to do the work of Satan with the counterfeit power and the signs of miracles. Yeah, and so, again, this is Esau, Edom. 12 and 2. Just to back that up. Psalms 12 and 2. They speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak. Neighbors lie to each other, speaking with flattering lips and deceitful hearts. May the Lord cut off the flattering lips and silence their boastful tongues. Yeah, so that, again, that pride. Proverbs 16 and, and 18. And going to 16 and 4, where these people, these wicked elites are going to be preserved to the end. To be what? Put in fetters, irons, and chains. And the rest of the lower level Edomites are going to get caught in the second lake of fire. And how do we know who's in power? This right here, Proverbs 29 and 2. Proverbs 21 and 2. The righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. You see anybody rejoicing right now? Is anybody happy? No, they're all, acting crazy, shooting people, killing their whole family. Want to be transformers, want to be men on men, woman on woman. They want to be, fornicators, lusting after their own lusts. After vanity, right? But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's what people are doing. The people are mourning right now. They're not rejoicing. They're crying out, especially, the elect and the remnant are crying out for all the abominations that are done. Isaiah 58 and 1. Giving that warning, blowing that trumpet. Isaiah 58 and 1, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice as a trumpet, like show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins. Yeah, so shout with the voice of a trumpet, blast, shout aloud, don't be timid, tell my people Israel of their sins. Yeah, so that's what we're supposed to be doing on the highways and the byways and on these sit downs, giving our people warning of their sins so they can be converted, so there's no blood on your hands. Because what are these? They're coming with their false science. First Timothy 6 and 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. Again, going back to their pseudoscience, their lying wonders, their lying miracles. Profane, what is that? Profane is outside the temple. Let me get this opposition. Falsely, yeah. Lying, deceitful, false. And that goes in again into the pseudo.
Strong's G 5571. Sudace. Sudace.
Yeah, to lie, to speak deliberate falsehoods, to deceive one by a lie. And that's what Esau, Edom does. Psalms 58 and 3. They are estranged from the womb, telling lies, and this is one of their lies. Psalms 58 and 3. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Yeah, so ever since they came out of that headshot, out of those rocks, right? In about the 1300s, what did they start doing? The Renaissance era, what did they start doing? Iconoclasm, which is covering the faces of the judges thereof, knocking off the noses and things like that, putting forth their image, which was Caesar Borgia, right? Which is abomination to Yahweh Shemar Ashai. And by their lying wonders, one of their lies is they'll come in this science that they're trying to help people, and they'll give people money they don't have no money. So they'll use their children, just like they do over there in Mexico's doing it right now, where they'll sell their children to be able to come over to the United States. Meanwhile, they don't know how they're actually going to get here. Psalms 10 and 8. He sitteth in the lurking place. Who's that? Esau, Edom. Sit in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places do he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. So that goes into putting our people in the prison system too. And then also, the kidnapping and rape, rob, and murder of our people. Okay, that's they try to sweep under the rug when people go missing. Okay, they're waiting to murder the innocent people. Yeah, so we know no one's innocent, but far as they're just walking down the street and all of a sudden they get kidnapped by some people. And we are helpless victims. We are a worm when we don't have our true power, Yahweh Shemar Ashai, to have the angels encamped around us. Because these devils, love blood, and they have what? We're praying to Yahweh Shemar Ashai to escape me from protect me from this violent man. Let me get a couple more scriptures. We got the point. Never trust thine enemy. Because what are they trying to do? They're trying to cut us off from being a nation. Let's get that real quick. Psalms 83 and 3. They have taken a crafty counsel against the people and consulted against the hidden ones. Right? And these are the people that consulted against, starting with Edom, Edom, the Ishmaelites, Moab, Hagarenes, Jebelites. So these are all the people that have that crafty counsel. But who has the sword? Esau, Edom. That's why King David said this right here. Psalm 17 and 3. Arise, O Adonai Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. For men which have thy hand, O Adonai Yahweh, from the men of the world which have their portion in this life, whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children and leave the rest of the substance to their babes. Yeah, so they're constantly doing this over and over again. When you look at Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all these people, Zuckerberg, all these people that they say got rich, their family gave them money. That's how they were able to get rich. Again, because they're babes and they do the same wicked abominations. So Ephesians, I'm going to wrap it up here, 6 and 11. Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the armor of our power, Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And when you go into that word wiles, it goes into what? The crafty and cunning ways of Esau, Edom. See what it says to stand. Yeah, to make firm, fix, establish, to cause person to think. Yeah, so we're standing firm on what? That rock. To stand, be kept intact, family, kingdom, escaped, and safety. To establish a thing. Continue safe and sound. Stand ready or prepared. And that goes into Psalms 34 and 7, where the angels are encamped around those that call on the name, roughly paraphrasing, and those that or the name is a strong tower, and those that run into it are safe. Yeah, so the quality of one who does not hesitate or does not waver. Yeah, so we're not wavering in this thing. So we're not going around to all these different camps and oh, what about this and what about that? No, we're hanging, we're close to like-minded brothers. Philippians 2:1 and 2. So stand against. So this word wiles, when it goes into the Greek,
Strong's G 3180, Methodiah.
And that word, meta, goes back into your forehead. So they're trying to change your mindset. Again, with their lying wonders, what are they trying to do? Have that charagma in your forehead or in your hand. So it says cunning arts, deceit, craft. Yeah, they're trickery. And that's what Esau Edom is known as, what? A cunning hunter. And Diablos, which is the devil, are prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. And that's what he does to our people. He accuses us falsely. Right? Saying we're drug dealers when they're the main drug dealers, right? Applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of Yahweh, may be able to said to act part of the devil or to side with him. Yeah, and so Esau Edom is known as that adversary. Right? 1 Peter 5:8. So Ephesians 6:11, put on the armor of our power Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So you go into this word, rulers, gun. So right there, the Lord of the world, prince of his age, the devil and his demons, right? And so who's of this world? Or who's the king of this world? 2 Corinthians 4:4. Let me just get that. Let me start from 3. It says, but if our gospel, which is the good news, be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And whom the God of this world, who's the God of this world? Satan, Esau, Edom, right, in the flesh of the world, have blinded the minds of them that which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach is the image of Yahweh should shine unto them. Yeah, so that goes into Isaiah 60:1. Will rise and shine, that he is what? That light that shines in a dark place, right? Because the God of this world is blinding a lot of our people with all these different philosophies. It could be money, could be a woman, could be the wine, the Babylonian wine, right? So going back to Ephesians 6:11 or 6:12, Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh of the blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers. And who are the rulers? Esau Edom is in rule right now. That he has given that portion we read in Psalm 17. Of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And what is the darkness of this? Let's see if they have anything for that. Yeah, so the darkness is what? Going back to confusion. Yeah, darkened eyesight. So if you don't have your lights on, you don't have that light on, how are you able to see? To that light that shines, to that perfect day? Of ignorance respecting divine things, of human duties, accompanying ungodliness and mortality, together with consequence, misery, and hell. So hell is an actual condition, and that's what our people, that's what we're in Babylon the Great. That's why it's known the valley of shadow of death. Even Job 10:21, he spoke about the darkness. Persons in whom darkness becomes visible and holds sway. Yeah, so they're in constant wickedness and abominations, and they just keep going further and further. That's what darkness is. For we wrestle not against. Yeah, we're not wrestling. We're not coming up against the elders and apostles. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And we know that this is in high places because they are doing the works of Satan on the left-hand side, but they are in the flesh. That's why it says 1 Peter, and I'll end it right there. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, which is Esau Edom, your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. That's right. So with that, call Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Brakateh Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Shalom to elect, Kwam Yashala.